Imagine right now, the lights in your room go out. Your phone is dead, the lamps don't work, and outside the window, there is a thick, absolute darkness. What do? Most likely, nothing. You just roll over to the other side and fall asleep. In the 21st century, darkness is a synonym for comfort, relaxation, and long-awaited rest. But now, let's go back. Roughly 100,000 years, the savannah of East Africa. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, and in that exact second, the world around you turns into a zone of lethal danger. You have no walls, no doors, no turn-on flashlight button. There is only a pitch-black, almost tangible darkness. And instead of lying down and going to sleep after a brutal day of hunting, you and your tribe do something completely counterintuitive to basic biology. You fight sleep. You spend precious energy, gather dry branches, and force yourselves to stay awake for hours, staring blankly into the void. Why? Why were our ancestors willing to sacrifice sleep, the ultimate mechanism for body recovery, for the sake of a tiny, flickering flame? The answer to this question hides one of the deepest, oldest, and most destructive fears that is still hardwired into your DNA. A fear that forced us to rewrite the rules of evolution, turned the ordinary night into a battlefield for survival, and quite literally birthed the very first monsters in the human imagination. Look, it's not that ancient humans were simply afraid of the dark, like moody children. It's that in the dark, we stopped being humans. Here is what most people don't understand. Humans are creatures built exclusively for daytime dominance. We are apex predators, but only as long as the sun is shining. We have incredible three-dimensional color vision. Our brains process visual information at an astonishing speed. During the day, we can spot the movement of an antelope hundreds of meters away, catch the slightest rustle of a leaf, and control our territory. Vision is our evolutionary nuclear weapon. But the moment night falls, that superpower instantly evaporates. The human eye is physically unsuited for darkness. We lack a tapetum lucidum, that reflective layer behind the retina that makes the eyes of cats or wolves glow in the dark and allows them to scrape together even the faintest amounts of light. The second the sun went down, ancient humans lost up to 90% of their sensory data. Now look at this visually. You're standing in the middle of the savannah. You cannot see past your own outstretched hand. But the world around you didn't go to sleep. Quite the opposite. It just woke up. For big cats, saber-toothed tigers, cave lions, leopards, the night was a time of absolute triumph. Their night vision is 6 times sharper than yours. Their hearing can track a mouse moving underground. To them, in that moment, you are not a dangerous hunter with a spear. You are a slow, deaf, blind piece of meat that can't even tell which direction the strike is coming from. Evolutionary biologists call this state a loss of the landscape of control. During the day, you control the territory. At night, the territory starts controlling you. And here is where it gets interesting. This loss of control triggers a mechanism in the human brain that scientists call Nyctophobia, the acute, panicked fear of darkness. This isn't just a mental mood, it's a chemical storm. In the dark, your brain immediately flips into a state of hyperarousal. Your amygdala, the fear center, starts running at absolute maximum capacity. Every snap of a twig, every rustle, or every shift in the wind is interpreted as a lethal threat. To survive these conditions, ancient humans needed a security system, and that system was fire. But fire demanded an unbelievable amount of resources. During the day, Hours had to be spent gathering firewood. At night, someone had to stay awake while the rest tried to steal a few hours of anxious, fragile sleep. Guarding the fire became the first sacred duty in human history. Falling asleep on watch meant signing a death warrant for the entire tribe. If the fire went out, the darkness caved in instantly, and the odds of making it to dawn dropped to near zero. You might think, well, that was hundreds of thousands of years ago. Now we have electricity, smart homes, and security systems. We are safe. But your brain doesn't think so. Have you ever noticed how your perception changes when you walk down a dark hallway in your own apartment at night? Why does it feel like someone is standing behind that slightly cracked closet door? Why is it that when you turn off the living room lights, you unconsciously pick up the pace on your way to the bedroom? That's not just a wild imagination. That is an ancient survival program running in the background. Because our brains absolutely detest a lack of information, when visual data is scarce, your brain starts to fill in the blanks. If you can't see what's in the corner of a dark room, your brain cannot leave that space empty. From an evolutionary standpoint, it is much better to mistake the silhouette of a coat rack for a crouching predator and get scared than to mistake a predator for a coat rack and die. It is this exact evolutionary bug that birthed every single monster in human history. All those ancient myths about forest spirits, werewolves, vampires, and the things under your bed, they aren't just fairy tales. They are the personification of the night's darkness. Our ancestors materialized their fear of unseen predators, turning the rustles of the savannah into beasts with fangs and claws. We quite literally populated the dark with monsters to explain to our own minds why we were so terrifyingly afraid. By the way, if you love digging into the hidden mechanics of our behavior and understanding how our ancient past controls us today, hit that subscribe button right now. On this channel, we break down the history they never teach you in school. Join us, because there is so much more to uncover. Fire changed everything. It didn't just keep predators at bay. Fire created a completely unique space, a circle of light. Inside that circle, the darkness retreated. Inside that circle, humans could see each other's faces, talk, share experiences, and plan for tomorrow. Fire stretched our day, gifting us precious hours of consciousness that the night used to steal away. It was right there by the fire, protected from the horrors of the primeval night, that humans began to tell their very first stories. Fire transformed us from terrified animals into thinking beings capable of creating culture. So when you reach for the light switch tonight to plunge your room into darkness, or when you find yourself flinching at the creak of a floorboard in an empty house, remember this: your fear of the dark is not a weakness. It is a thin, unbreakable thread connecting you directly to that very same person who sat huddled in an African cave 100,000 years ago. You aren't afraid of the dark because something is wrong with you. You're afraid of it because your ancestors were afraid of it just enough to survive. Keep the fire burning and pass that fear down to you. Every single time we turn on a light at night, we are continuing to fight that exact same ancient war against the dark. A war we started before we even learned how to speak. What about you? What childhood night fear still makes you jump into bed a little bit faster? Let me know your stories in the comments. Keep your fire burning, and I'll see you in the next video.